Well, our system of law and order has a fundamental right for people charged with a crime, innocent until proven guilty.
However, sometimes the person arrested really committed the crime, but it can't be proven. Investigative reporter Chris Horne looks into what happens when murder charges are set aside because prosecutors can't make a case.
Tom, an arrest is made, and at first the case seems to be solved. Then a prosecutor decides not to go forward, often because a key witness refuses to testify. It might be love, it might be fear. In the cautionary case of a young woman from Norfolk, it was a lot of both.
I thought he loved her.
If it were love that Stephen Williams had for Chastity Parker, it was a controlling love, a jealous love, a deadly love. Williams got charged with his first violent crime, a 2013 murder. And by then, Williams and Parker had been dating for 5 years. She wouldn't testify against him. The charges were null prost or set aside, and Williams walked. 2 years later, police suspected Williams in another murder. Again, Parker wouldn't testify, and that case collapsed, just like the first one. The family says Williams was threatening them.
I remember the police coming to talk to her one time he was in jail, but she said she didn't know anything.
After the second killing, Chastity broke up with Williams, who again was out on Norfolk streets.
He said that he would kill her.
Her family feared that Chastity could be next. She was.
I asked her, "Are you worried about him? Are you scared?" You know, she said no.
In July 2015, just weeks after the breakup, Williams tracked Chastity down at her great-grandmother's home. He shot out a window of the Kimball Terrace apartment, chased her up the stairs into a closet, and shot her 8 times. Her sister was frantically trying to reach Williams by text and Facebook.
I just heard, I'm like, "Steve, what you do to my sister?"
Williams pleaded guilty to murdering Parker and is serving 50 years in prison. The Norfolk Police Department and Commonwealth's Attorney's Office declined our request for an interview for this story. The death of Chastity Parker is a tragic example of witness intimidation.
Sometimes it's objective, that means there really is intimidation, and sometimes it's subjective in the mind of the witness.
Retired Virginia Beach Commonwealth's attorney Harvey Bryan says it's the duty of police and prosecutors to do whatever's possible to keep witnesses safe.
To help assure these people, we're going to do everything we can to protect you. We're going to do everything we can to keep this defendant in custody.
And the chief of police in Newport News says a witness's faith in the system has to be earned.
The main relationship is going to be that homicide detective and that family member building trust.
Detective Angela Murphy works homicide in Virginia Beach.
Sometimes just talking to them is enough to make them feel secure.
She says witnesses living in fear is a constant challenge.
Because we just, we know that they have legitimate fears sometimes, but we don't have the manpower to, constantly protect someone.
It's a hard truth to hear for the mother of Chastity Parker.
If you're going to protect them, then you should protect them and not just say that and really do something.
And if a defendant goes free when charges are set aside?
I think that you get some people pounding on a desk and some trash cans getting kicked across the room.
Because the likelihood increases that more trouble is just around the corner.
If a witness decides not to come to court, or the case is null pros, or we continue it to another date, all those things increase the time frame for bad things that happen.
What else can police and prosecutors provide? Well, they have advocates that support victims and witnesses and maintain contact with them through the process. If a defendant's in jail, then authorities can monitor mail and phone calls for possible threats. Chris Horne, 10 on your side.